Thank you for listening to the Mindful Midlife Crisis. If you're thinking about starting your own podcast but don't know where to begin, let me introduce you to Buzzsprout, the easiest way to launch, promote, and track your podcast. I've been using Buzzsprout for the Mindful Midlife Crisis since the very beginning, and let me tell you, it's a total game changer. With Buzzsprout, you'll get your podcast listed on all the major platforms like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Overcast, and more, all with just a few simple clicks. Plus, their stats dashboard gives you everything you need to see how your show is performing, including detailed insights into your audience and download numbers. I am absolutely addicted to this feature because I love seeing all the places around the world where the show is being downloaded, from major metropolitan cities like Chicago, Illinois, Frankfurt, Germany, and Sydney, Australia, to little rinky-dink towns like Louisburg, Nova Scotia, and my hometown of Sauk Center, Minnesota. The best part? Buzzsprout is super easy to use. Whether you're a podcasting pro or just starting out, Buzzsprout will guide you through the entire process with no tech background required. You can even add magic mastering to make your audio sound its best without all the complicated editing. Go to the show notes and use my promo link to get a $20 credit to your account that you can immediately use to get your podcast up and running. So what are you waiting for? Hit that link in the show notes to start your podcast today. Ever wonder how I get such crystal clear audio and video quality during my guest interviews? It's all thanks to Riverside FM. Riverside FM is my go-to platform for recording studio-grade quality audio and video interviews, no matter where you or your guests are. I've been using Riverside for the Mindful Midlife Crisis for almost the entirety of the show, and it's made a world of difference in the clarity of my audio and video. Plus, it's super easy to use. Riverside records each participant locally in 4K video and uncompressed audio, so even if you or your guest's internet connection lags, your recordings come out crystal clear. You don't have to worry about glitches or delays ruining the conversation. It's like recording in a professional studio without ever leaving your home, which is perfect for a guy like me who records in locations all over the world. Riverside FM also makes editing a breeze with separate audio and video tracks for each person, and you can even use their magic editor to polish your episodes before publishing. Not only that, but it creates epic sound bites and video clips that you can turn into Instagram and TikTok reels in no time without having to search for them, which is great for me because I hate doing that social media crap to promote this show. If you're serious about producing top-notch content, whether it's for a podcast or video interviews, Riverside FM is the way to go. If you're ready to take your podcast quality to the next level, click the link in the show notes and give Riverside a try today. Trust me, your listeners will notice the difference. Hey there, I wish we could do this show ad-free, but these products and services really do enhance the quality of this podcast, and I'm a big believer in promoting people who do good work. Not only that, but when you support these products and services, you're also supporting the show. If you're looking for other ways to support this podcast, be sure to stay tuned until the end of the show, and don't forget to click on those show notes. Now, on with the show. Coming up on the Mindful Midlife Crisis. So standing indivisible, like a prime number, like age 47, like episode 181, means staying true to who I am. It's about remembering that while we might connect with a lot of people and be influenced by the world around us, at our core, the only person who truly defines us is us. Welcome to the Mindful Midlife Crisis, a podcast for people navigating the complexities and possibilities of life's second half. I'm your host, Billy Lahr, an educator, personal trainer, meditation teacher, and overthinker who talks to experts who specialize in social and emotional learning, mindfulness, physical and emotional wellness, cultural awareness, finances, communication, relationships, dating, and parenting, all in an effort to help us better reflect, learn, and grow so we can live a more purpose-filled life. Take a deep breath, embrace the present, and journey with me through the Mindful Midlife Crisis. Welcome to the Mindful Midlife Crisis. I'm your host, Billy Lahr. Thank you for tuning in wherever you are. The purpose of the show is to help you navigate the complexities and possibilities of life's second half. One way I do this is by providing a platform that gives people the space and permission to share their practical expertise and relatable life experiences that inspire you to become more clear, consistent, connected, and compassionate in pursuit of your own future goals. If you want to listen to some of my favorite conversations from the past, visit www.mindfulmidlifecrisis.com/fan-faves. That's where we post past episodes that generated the most buzz from our loyal listeners, like my conversation with Tom Cody, where he shared his strategies to help prevent you from turning into a crotchety old man. That is episode 10, but we had so much fun talking to Tom. We brought him back again to talk about rebalanced thinking and rebalanced living. That is episode 35, in case you have a long drive ahead of you and need to pass the time with a double dose of top 20 strategies from Tom Cody. Lately, though, I've been sharing how practicing intentional and mindful living over the last 10 years has helped me navigate the trials, tribulations, and triumphs of my own midlife crisis. Being more intentional and mindful has helped me process my anxiety in a much healthier way by reducing my emotional reactivity and impulsive behavior, which in turn has helped me improve my relationships and communication with others. So, if you're ready to make a meaningful change in your life, visit www.mindfulmidlifecrisis.com and download your free Jumpstart Your Midlife workbook. This workbook offers a comprehensive, guided approach that will help you transform your midlife years with actionable steps, reflective exercises, and practical insights that will empower you to unlock your potential and build a more fulfilling life for yourself. These are the same skills, strategies, and resources I use in my own life based on years of research and experimentation to find a bit more calm and clarity amidst the chaos. So if you're ready to take the leap, go to www.mindfulmidlifecrisis.com and take action now. But here's the deal. I am also navigating this thing called life, and there are still days when I am a hot mess. But by sharing my experiences as well as the experiences of others, my hope is that you'll see you are not alone in your experience. When we journey together and offer encouragement, we create a stronger, more connected community where everyone can thrive, because at the end of the day, we'll always achieve more working together than we ever could alone. So back in August, I turned 47 years old, and as I've been reflecting on life lately, something struck me about turning 47. It's not just about getting older, even though I can tell I'm aging with each look in the mirror. This camera is not doing me any favors either, which is why we are not broadcasting this on YouTube anymore. But I use some of the clips on Instagram if you want to check those out. But I don't know that I'm aging gracefully. Good thing I am in Korea. Maybe I can purchase some K-beauty products so I can look just a little bit younger. Everybody here looks so young and their skin is so smooth. I may need to invest in some of those K-beauty products. Anyway, turning 47. So what I've been thinking about is how I'm enjoying stepping into this new phase of life with a different kind of perspective. I've realized that midlife is a prime time to take stock and to celebrate who we are and to embrace the experiences that have shaped us over the years. As episode 41 guest Greg Scheinman often says, the middle is the sweet spot. And the thing is, 47 is more than just the age that I am. It's actually a prime number. And that got me thinking about how we're all kind of like these prime numbers ourselves. We're unique, we're indivisible, and we're shaped by our own journeys. So that's what I want to talk about here today. Because as you may remember from elementary math, or if you grew up in Melrose, Minnesota, like 9th grade algebra. Anyway, 47 is a prime number. And a prime number means it's only divisible by 1 and itself. And just like a prime number, we as individuals are fundamentally unique. And when we allow ourselves to become divided or diluted by what others think of us or by external societal pressures, we become mere fractions of ourselves. And at this point in my life, I'm realizing how important it is to stand in that truth. And over the last 3 years, I've been on this crazy journey of self-discovery. And I've had to learn how to look within for validation instead of relying on other people's approval. Now, for a guy like me who loves being in the spotlight, that's been a challenge. And I'll be the first to admit that I've always craved affirmation from others. I feel like Sally Field when she won Oscar for Best Actress that one year, and she's like, "You like me. You really, really like me." And that has been me more times than I'd care to admit, constantly seeking external validation. And in this digital age, it's so easy to get caught up in the game of likes and follows. Every thumbs up can feel like a hit of dopamine, giving us that quick boost of validation. And while it's true, our actions do impact others, and how we show up in the world matters, we also need to balance that by appreciating our own self-worth. Our real value isn't defined solely by external praise or reactions. It's about how we celebrate our own achievements and recognize our own growth, regardless of the feedback we get from others. When I look back at what I've done over the past 3 years, I'm honestly pretty proud of myself. I've been sober for almost a year and a half now. I've traveled to and paddleboarded on 5 different continents. I've recorded over 100 episodes of this podcast, something I'm still amazed by, to be honest. I've written 2 years worth of weekly newsletters. I actually think that's probably my greatest achievement. I've designed hundreds of social media posts, and there's nothing I hate more than designing those stupid Canva posts and those stupid Canva carousels and then posting them on social media. Ugh. I hate it, but I learned how to do it, and I had a good routine there for a while, but I've pulled back from that because it didn't feel worth it to me anymore. But did I learn how to do it? And was I getting better at it? Yeah, I kind of learned the ins and outs of it. So was it something I enjoyed? No, but was it something that was necessary to learn at that time? Yeah, I feel good about that. I developed online courses for you as listeners to take. I created and promoted 2 workbooks. I facilitated virtual meditate and mingle sessions. And the list goes on of just little things that I'm proud of completing and achieving and attempting the last few years. I even completed certifications in mindfulness, meditation, and behavior change. But most importantly, I've connected with people from all walks of life around the world. Unfortunately, there's a flip side to all of that because I've also faced a lot of tough moments. And despite all of these accomplishments, I've had my fair share of anxiety and impostor syndrome, doubt, and loneliness. And all those things came to a head when my coaching business didn't work out the way I'd hoped. The failure of that venture still hits me hard. It's still a bummer. And I had to make a difficult decision, which was to pause this podcast indefinitely. And that was a really tough pill to swallow. And it made me wonder, what's this all for? And I talked about that last week. Thank you to Cousin Corona once again for reminding me what this is all for. Social media doesn't make it any easier either. You've got this constant stream of comparison, which can lead to envy. And then the FOMO, the fear of missing out, is also palpable. It's also real. So standing indivisible, like a prime number, like age 47, like episode 181, means staying true to who I am. It's about remembering that while we might connect with a lot of people and be influenced by the world around us, at our core, the only person who truly defines us is us. This idea of being indivisible also encourages resilience. We all face challenges and setbacks that can make us feel fragmented. But when we remember that we are whole, just like that prime number, we can tap into our strength. We are not diminished by our struggles. Rather, we use them as stepping stones for growth. So let's do this. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, I'm going to share with you 5 essential questions to ask yourself as you lay the groundwork for entering your midlife prime. And if you need help in a specific area of midlife, be sure to check out this week's sponsors. Thank you for listening to the Mindful Midlife Crisis. This episode is sponsored by the Bell Center and its Mind Hacking Meditation course, a transformative 3-week journey into meditation and mindfulness. Perfect for beginners or seasoned meditators alike, this self-paced course requires only 5 hours a week and includes daily guided meditations, theory lessons, and one-on-one guidance from Colin Purcell and Anna Schlegel. Experience the essence of the Bell Center from anywhere in the world. I actually took this course last year while I was in Korea, and it challenged my already established mindfulness practice while also expanding on my understanding of how mindfulness and breathwork actually impacts our physiological health. For those ready for a physical retreat, the Bell Center, perched on a lush rainforest hill in Ecuador, is a sanctuary for mindfulness, yoga, surf, and more. With breathtaking ocean and mountain views and a vibrant permaculture project, the center offers fresh, organic produce to all its guests. Join Colin and Anna for silent meditation, yoga, and surf retreats starting February 1st. I actually attended a breathwork workshop with these two when we were all at the Angkor Island Surf Camp in Dakar, Senegal, and that workshop helped me reevaluate my relationship with my breath, and I know working with Colin and Anna, whether online or in person, will do the same for you. Learn more at www.thebell.center. That's www.thebell.center. Give them a follow on Instagram and be sure to check out episodes 48 through 49 of the Mindful Midlife Crisis, where I talk with Colin and Anna about how the power of breathwork can enhance our lives. The Bell Center. Stoke your inner calm one breath at a time. This episode is sponsored by Gray Tonic. Do you ever question your relationship with alcohol? Gray area drinking and gray areas in general affect millions of people who don't identify with extremes but still feel something isn't quite right. Whether it's with alcohol, your health, or even relationships, these gray areas can quietly hold you back. If this sounds familiar, don't miss episode 61 with gray area expert Carrie Schweer, where she shares her personal journey through gray area drinking and explains how her own frustration with traditional programs led her to create Decide 30, a new program from Gray Tonic that doesn't just address drinking, but tackles all those in-between spaces where we tend to get stuck. With Decide 30, you'll explore what drives your habits, refocus on what truly matters, and develop daily tools to start moving forward. One of my listeners who worked with Carrie shared that her approach opened doors in ways he didn't expect, helping him to become a better husband, father, and leader. And as someone who's personally moved through gray area drinking and has been sober for over a year now, I can tell you firsthand the difference it makes to be clear and intentional. So if this resonates with you, check out the link in the show notes to learn more about Gray Tonic's Decide 30 program. This might be the exact opportunity you've been waiting for to make lasting changes in every area of your life. This episode is sponsored by Beyond Coaching with Jeannie Love. Looking to create a more inclusive workspace for your neurodivergent colleagues? Or maybe you're seeking effective strategies for your own ADHD journey. If so, check out episode 99 of the Mindful Midlife Crisis with Jeannie Love, a neurodivergent coach and consultant with over 20 years of experience specializing in ADHD and autism. Jeannie helps organizations create workplaces where neurodivergent employees can excel. Through tailored consulting, she provides environmental audits, practical recommendations, and specialized coaching and training to support neurodivergent team members. She's also equally passionate about coaching professionals who discover their neurodivergence later in life. Using her neuroautonomy method, she helps clients develop personalized tools for building confidence, productivity, and emotional resilience. If you're ready to explore how neurodiversity coaching can enhance your workplace or personal journey, book a free 60-minute discovery call with Jeannie at www.beyondcoaching.pro. That's www.beyondcoaching.pro. And let Jeannie empower neurodivergent individuals and workplaces to thrive with confidence, clarity, and compassion. This episode is sponsored by the Simple Man Guide. Hit a career rut and have no idea what to do next? Then check out episode 63 with the Simple Man, Brian Gallagher. Brian once had what many would call the perfect career, a high-paying job, zero debt, and all the luxuries he could want. But deep down, he knew something was missing. It wasn't until he ditched the normal career path, utilized his strengths, and followed his curiosities that he discovered his life's work, helping others find their life's work. So, if you're feeling drained by your career, can't imagine another 15 to 20 years of the same meaningless work, get yourself a copy of Brian's Solo Business Blueprint and start building your path out of the rat race. This free email course is packed with step-by-step guidance to help you find your business idea, get clear on the problem you solve, find those ideal clients needing your help, and stop overthinking and start building your own career path, all without leaving your job, all without wasting lots of time, all without posting on social media. If you're ready to get started, visit www.simplemanguide.com today to break free, create your own path, and live life on your terms. Thank you for listening to the Mindful Midlife Crisis. My mission is to help you navigate the complexities and possibilities of life's second half by introducing you to people and resources that will help you jumpstart your life. When you support our sponsors, not only are you supporting this show, but you're also supporting your own personal growth and development. Keep seeking out ways to invest in you and your future. And now, back to the show. Welcome back to the Mindful Midlife Crisis. Today, we're talking about embracing the prime of your midlife with confidence, resilience, and authenticity. So what I want to do now is introduce to you a new segment to the show that I call 5 Essential Questions. Ooh, what's this segment all about? Well, the segment is designed to help you reflect, learn, and grow as you navigate life's complex decisions. Each episode, I'll present 5 thought-provoking questions aimed at fostering self-awareness and personal growth. These questions encourage you to dig deep, challenge your perspectives, and unlock your full potential. If you want a digital copy of each week's 5 essential questions emailed to you, just go to www.mindfulmidlifecrisis.com and join my newsletter. You'll also get my new Jumpstart Your Midlife workbook, which is a great companion piece to this segment. Whether you're facing a major life transition or simply looking to gain clarity, these 2 resources will provide practical tools to help you move forward with confidence and purpose. So let's get into our first essential question, which is, what personal milestones have you achieved recently, and how have they shaped your sense of self-worth? So for me, over the past few years, I've hit some big personal milestones that have reshaped how I see myself and what I value. I mentioned them at the top of the show. And each of these milestones has chipped away at any lingering self-doubt that I may have had, reinforcing that I actually am capable of setting and reaching goals that align with my purpose in life. These achievements have deepened my sense of self-worth, not because I checked off boxes, but because each step required growth, resilience, and the courage to try. I've come to see self-worth not as a destination, but as a process of learning, creating, and sharing with others. So I ask you to reflect on both the big and small victories in your life. How do these accomplishments affect your self-esteem, and how can you celebrate them more internally without relying on external validation? Which brings me to essential question number 2. How do you manage feelings of comparison and FOMO in a world driven by social media? So again, I often compare this show with the Jordan Harbinger show. I love talking about the Jordan Harbinger show. I love Jordan Harbinger. I think it is the pinnacle of long-form conversation as far as I'm concerned. There's a reason I call him Podcast Jesus, because there's just no one who does it better. And having him on my podcast was a real honor. And if you missed that episode, that's episode 80, so be sure to check that one out. I often think to myself, okay, how do I get to that same level of success in the podcast world? And I'm sure you've heard people say comparison is the thief of joy. But my other dream guest is Adam Grant, and he has a different perspective on this idea of comparison being the thief of joy. He doesn't believe that it is the thief of joy. He believes envy is the thief of joy. And the more I think about that, the more I agree with him, because when you keep perspective, comparison can actually be quite motivating. When you see another person performing at a higher level than you are, you can ask yourself, how do I get there, and who can help me get there? But with envy, the real thief of joy is the resentment you feel when you see another person having the same success you wish you were having. So when we start feeling that resentment, we need to take a step back and understand where that's coming from. And usually it's coming from social media. So my suggestion is to consider how social media affects your self-perception. Are there ways you can limit its influence on your self-worth and focus more on living authentically based on your own values? Now, the next question you need to ask yourself when you're trying to harness your midlife prime is, what setbacks or failures have you faced recently, and how have those contributed to your personal growth? Again, like this whole podcast is about me sharing setbacks and sprinkled in with some of the successes that I have had throughout the years as well. Like, launching a coaching business didn't take off the way that I had planned. And I'll tell you, at first, that really stung. That was not fun to fail at launching that coaching business, because I poured a lot of energy and time and money into it, hoping it would lead to some rewarding path. But looking back, I can see how it was a turning point for my growth. It taught me to separate my self-worth from external success and to redefine what failure even means. I learned that setbacks are simply redirections. This one redirected me toward soul, nudging me toward what might serve me and others later on and might be better off in the long run. Embracing that perspective has made me more adaptable, and it's reminded me to keep creating and experimenting without attaching everything to the outcome. So what I want you to do is think about the challenges you've encountered. How can you reframe these experiences as opportunities for resilience and growth rather than dwelling on the disappointment? Now, the fourth essential question you need to ask yourself as you enter your midlife prime is, what does it mean to honor my individuality and stay true to my values, even when it feels uncertain? I'm going to dive deeper into honoring my values in the midst of uncertainty next week. But I just want to say here now that honoring your individuality and staying true to your values means consistently checking in with who you are and what you value, even when life feels like it's in flux. And my life has been in flux for the last 3 years, but especially the last year, which is why I needed to take time away from this podcast. If I may get all English teachery Shakespearean on you, when Polonius tells Laertes to thine own self be true, what he's saying is choose paths that align with your interests rather than bending to the pressures or expectations that are around you. When things are uncertain, it's easy to lose sight of what your core values are, and it's easy to feel the pull to follow a more secure or traditional route. Now, I'm going to talk about this in more detail next week. That's not to say you go all in and you risk everything and put all your eggs into one basket. That is a terrible and irresponsible approach. We'll talk about that in more detail next week. But if there's one thing I've learned, it's that grounding myself in what truly matters, things like mindful, intentional living, connecting with others, and building a foundational purpose for my future, I can then move forward with integrity. Staying true to myself doesn't erase the uncertainty, but it gives me an anchor. It gives me a way to navigate through change while holding on to what makes me, me. So take some time to identify the core values and beliefs that guide your decisions. How can you stay connected to these guiding principles even when facing pressure or uncertainty from external sources? And the last essential question for you to think about as you enter your midlife prime is, who or what in your life helps remind you of your strength and resilience? And how can you lean on those influences during difficult times? The people and experiences that remind me of my strength and resilience are often those who have seen me at my best and my worst. And those are usually friends and family, but it's also you as listeners of this podcast who provide a grounding force. It's people like my cousin Corona who remind me of the impact I have on them. even when I'm doubting myself. And it's through your encouragement and honest reflections that help me see the progress I've made and the resilience that I've built up over time. And because of that, I'm able to reach out and lean on those influences and feel connected to them, whether it's through a quick call or sharing an update or even reflecting on feedback from listeners who found strength in this podcast. Those connections serve as a mirror, showing me a version of myself that's capable and resilient, especially when I need the reminder the most. So take a minute to reflect on the support systems and internal sources of strength you can tap into when life feels challenging. Ask yourself, how can you engage more deeply with these resources? Remember the conversation I had with Simon Rinne. It's not weak to speak. Reach out and get the help that you need. That's what this podcast is for. The purpose of this podcast is to provide you with resources and support systems to help you navigate the complexities and possibilities of life's second half. So don't be afraid to make the most of those. That's what they're here for. So let me leave you with this. At age 47, which is really, really close to 50, it's creeping up. It's creeping up. But because it's creeping up, I want to embrace this concept of resilience and authenticity in this prime year of my life, because I'm not going to hit another prime year until I turn 53. So I'm seeing this age not as a sign of getting older, but as an opportunity to celebrate my unbreakable spirit. It's a chance to continue navigating my unique path with confidence, even when that path takes some unexpected turns. So as we embrace our midlife primes, remember this. The whole of our experiences can only be divided by one. It can only be divided by ourselves. It's up to us to shape how we see those experiences and how we move forward. Now, if you enjoyed this week's episode, make sure you're subscribed to the show wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss a future episode. If you're an Apple listener, you can do that by clicking the plus sign in the upper right-hand corner. If you're a Spotify listener, click the follow button and then click those 5 stars under the cover art to show this show some love. I would also greatly appreciate it if you would share this episode with the people in your life who are entering their midlife prime. And if you do that on Instagram or LinkedIn, don't forget to tag me, bro, because sharing is caring. If you're feeling really generous, please consider making a donation to the show. All you got to do is click the donate button in the show notes or go to www.mindfulmidlifecrisis.com and click on the donate button there, just like my old neighbor Dusty did. And she left me this very lovely message. She said, Billy, I appreciate your keen insights and honest reflections. The path you're on is exciting, but also challenging. This is real life, and I love that you aren't sugarcoating your experience. For the record, you don't sound like a Debbie Downer. That's good. That's good to know. It's nice to know that I'm not bumming you out as listeners. She says, you are simply acknowledging your feelings while also identifying things to support yourself while you process and move through all the things. I find it uplifting and helpful. Love from your old loop neighbor coming at you from St. Louis. Thank you so much for supporting the show, Dusty. I really appreciate it. And these contributions help me keep the show running smoothly without interruption. If you want more free resources to help you reflect, learn, and grow, consider subscribing to my weekly newsletter at www.mindfulmidlifecrisis.com. Or if you just want to keep up with my travel adventures as well as life in Korea, you can follow me on Instagram at mindful_midlife_crisis. This is where I share my travel tips, experiences, and recommendations so you don't feel so overwhelmed when planning that next big trip. I also post pictures of all the delicious Korean and Thai and Vietnamese food that I shovel into my stupid mouth. If you're interested in collaborating on a future project together, hit me up on LinkedIn. I'm always looking to connect with amazing people with amazing life experiences and stories to share. Don't forget to check out this week's sponsors. I'm not here to solve all the world's problems, but I'm constantly building my network so I can provide more resources for you to live your best life. And when you support those sponsors, you also support this show. So don't be afraid to reach out to any one of them. Or if you'd like me to help make an introduction, shoot me an email at billy@mindfulmidlifecrisis.com. Finally, let me leave you with this. When you're in the midst of a midlife crisis, remember that progress is never linear. Our growth looks more like the stock market. Some days we're up, some days we're down, and we may not reap the benefits for a while. But if we play the long game and continue to invest in being consistent, disciplined, patient, compassionate, and connected to others, you'll see that investment in yourself will pay huge dividends as you navigate the complexities and possibilities of life's second half. So with that, this is Billy. Thank you for listening to the Mindful Midlife Crisis. May you feel happy, healthy, and loved. Take care, friends. Thank you for listening to the Mindful Midlife Crisis. Looking for an all-in-one platform to build and grow your online business? Let me introduce you to System.io, the game-changing tool that simplifies your life by handling everything from building sales funnels to automating emails, managing your online courses, and even running your affiliate programs. With System.io, you don't need a dozen different tools or a massive budget. It's designed to be user-friendly, affordable, and comprehensive so you can focus on what really matters, growing your business. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out like me, System.io makes it easy to create a website, sell your products, manage your email list, and set up powerful automations all in one place. I actually have my Mindfulness for Anxiety and my Mindfulness Fundamentals course on System.io, and it's also what I use for my weekly newsletter. So if you're ready to streamline your business operations and skyrocket your productivity, click on the link in the show notes to get started with System.io, the only tool you need to start your online business. Need to tackle a big project but don't have the time, skills, or resources to do it all yourself? Say hello to Fiverr, the only marketplace that connects you with talented freelancers from around the world to get the job done. Whether you're looking for logo design, website development, copywriting, or even podcast editing, Fiverr has experts in every field ready to help. With transparent pricing and reviews, finding the perfect match for your project has never been easier. I've used Fiverr to help me edit this podcast, create and update my websites, compile data, and do my least favorite thing in the world, design and schedule social media posts. Fiverr has been a total game changer for me because I am only one man, and running the show is a lot of damn work. But Fiverr's platform is easy to use, and I always find someone who delivers exactly what I need on time and within budget. So if you're ready to save time, lower stress, and bring your creative ideas to life, click on the link in the show notes for 10% off your first job completed by a dedicated professional freelancer. Fiverr, a job well done starts here.